Hello, welcome to episode 27 of Anime Territory, an excuse for me and my co-host Benjamin 6 Inches Shabbing to talk about anime and make him watch more stuff with me. Though this week, this is not a new thing. This is something we've watched several times.
I wouldn't say several.
I've seen this movie several times.
I've seen it maybe 3 times. This might have been the 3rd.
That doesn't seem right. This is like my 6th time watching the movie, which is Summer Wars, directed by Mamoru Hosoda. Mamoru Hosoda. I said that weird the first time. This is the start of our Mamoru March month.
In February.
We're starting it in February, yes. But since we only do an episode every 2 weeks, if we want to have like a meaningful thing of at least 3 episodes, we'll cut the corners a little bit here. So we're covering this one this week, Summer Wars. Probably like the first Mamoru Hosoda movie I saw where I realized there was a Mamoru Hosoda movie. I don't know. I probably had seen the Digimon movie before then.
I don't know which one I saw first.
We watched this one in high school.
Yeah, I know.
Boy and the Beast didn't come out till we were in college.
I didn't watch Boy and the Beast until like the last month when we watched it together.
Yeah.
That was the first time I watched it.
Did we cover Boy and the Beast in the podcast?
No.
Okay. We just watched it because we wanted to watch more Mamoru Hosoda movies.
Correct.
So, A Girl Who Leapt Through Time, I watched, I want to say in high school, but it's probably after Summer Wars. Because that was a movie like Hank had back in the day. He also had like a European version of it, and it was like region locked. It was weird.
Interesting.
Because there wasn't a good American version available, so he bought a European version, and it was region coded, which sucked. Mm-hmm. Our plans are tentatively next episode cover the Digimon movie.
Correct.
Got the DVDs in the mail. Bought it used, so hopefully it comes and it's playable. Used? Yeah, I wasn't gonna pay $50 for it on Amazon, so instead I paid $30 for it on.
Is the
Mercari.
Poster used?
I'm assuming so. Yes. The picture of it was in a frame, so I don't think they're going to send the frame. I think they're going to fold it up and put it back in the DVD case it came in. If I had to guess. And then the last one we're going to try to cover, pending getting here on time, is Wolf Children.
Which is the one I haven't seen.
Yes, the one you haven't seen. Other than Belle. We tried to go see Belle, and then I got COVID. So it's like, I can't go anywhere. So guess we're not going to go see Belle tonight because I am really sick. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, we kind of talked about our history with this movie. We watched it back in high school. You laughed at the 6 inches joke. That's a point of contention in our high school friend group. There's a scene where somebody's very serious, and a friend of ours was gonna he made a call. It's like, oh, she's gonna change mood here and be like.
He said mood change.
That's what he said that he said.
Everybody in the room except for him heard sex change.
Oh yeah, he definitely said sex change. Except there was one other person in the room who heard something different. Thought he said...
It was Rowie, wasn't it?
Yeah. For past and future guest Dylan Rowie thought he said 6 inches, which made me so mad. It's like, no, that's not what he said. Stop it. And then everyone else just kept saying 6 inches all night.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that you get a basketball thrown at... We talked about this when Rowie was on.
Yeah.
We talked about his movies. So you will get a basketball thrown at you if you say 6 inches to me in my parents' basement. That won't happen in my house because... all these things are mine. I don't want any basketballs to get thrown around and something to get broken. So instead, you'll get a card flung at you.
Yes, that's the rule now.
Yeah. Though we haven't done that in a while. Because we put all the cards up because they were a mess.
Then we don't have anybody over anymore.
It's true. It's very, very true. Let's see. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now. What do you think of this movie, Ben? If it's not already obvious.
This movie is great, almost fantastic for me.
I would say this movie is fantastic, but I don't know how much of that is me remembering how much I love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's better movies out there. I know there's better movies out there, but this is in like my top 10 anime movies. I'm fairly for sure.
That makes sense.
I don't know what the order of my top 10 anime movies are, but this one is definitely a contender if it's not in there.
Okay.
But again, I just have such attachment to it. Let's see. No, it didn't get put in the list. I guess it's not in my top 10.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but it must be like number 11 or 12.
Gotcha.
It's just too many good movies out there.
Too many good movies. But yeah, this movie's great. I think there are some things in it that just slightly knock it down from being like a 10 out of 10, but it's very, very solid. Yeah. Has a little bit of everything.
It's got math. It's got Digimon.
All right, it just went down
card
lower
games.
It's got Japanese card games I don't know anything about.
Yeah, I do not know the rules of Karuta.
Well, this one's Hanafuda.
Hanafuda. Karuta is the other.
Chihaya
Furu. Yeah, I'm sorry. I get those two confused. This one is Haneda?
Yeah, Hanafuda.
I know it. I'm all over the place today. Why am I hosting this?
Because it was your turn.
Yeah. We don't necessarily take turns. I did like 2 or 3 in a row there for the other last one.
It might not even be a card game. It might technically be a tile game.
They played it with cards.
Okay. They just kept saying koi koi. I'm like,
koi koi.
Yes?
Koi.
Do you want a koi koi? I'm like, yes.
You declare koi koi. I guess. How do I win this game? Saying koi koi is a good thing until somebody doesn't say it, and then you're like, what?
Wait, why didn't you say koi koi? Oh, you don't want a koi koi there. Why? Oh, because.
Man, when are they gonna make the anime based off of Pinnacle?
Ooh, I don't know. Pinnacle, the anime? Just trying to think how they would do that.
Well, they'd have to do like some shit like they do in Initial D, where they're just like, we're doing a gum tape death match, and it's like, we're playing.
Thought they were going to play in the ditch.
No, I was gonna say that. What are some of those variants that you guys play?
Well, there's Mexican, there's regular, there's racehorse. Then you got anywhere from 2-handed up to 10-handed.
Yeah. So they're gonna have they're just gonna have to introduce games like that and be like, what can he do with only one card? Because he's playing 13-handed or something.
I don't think you play 13-handed.
Yeah, maybe you don't play 13-handed.
You can play double Pinnacle, or you have 2 decks.
Yeah. What is it? Your family has you'd have to he'd go up against the Shaving family, and they would. Oh, it'd be a Sunday, and he wouldn't know that a double marriage is a 30 and meld in your family on Sunday.
Yeah, that's true.
It's Sunday.
Sunday. Double marriage is worth 30 points. Only on Sundays.
Despite the fact that most people get married on Saturdays.
I don't know. It's the rule our grandpa made.
Because your grandpa wanted to win a hand and had a double marriage on Sunday.
From what I've been told, that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
He would have nothing in his hand, so he made up the rules that double marriage is 30 points.
This podcast is like Summer Wars in that it's about it's about family and card games. And it's on the internet. So it's Summer Wars.
And it's on the internet.
Yeah.
So, okay. This podcast is going on.
Yeah, the podcast is on the internet.
Sorry, I didn't make the connection. I'm bad at math.
It's all right. I'm good at math. So that's another thing that we got one person who's good at math in this podcast.
Could you solve that equation?
No.
No?
I would not represent Japan in the math Olympics.
He was second in whatever.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't even be that. So, but I have a degree in math.
He was runner-up to
runner-up.
Represent Japan in the Math Olympics.
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
I don't think we compete in that.
I don't think anybody competes in that.
Okay. I guess we should
got way off.
That's all right. We're gonna speed through the plot synopsis, I think, for the movie, so we got time to mess around. I'm gonna do a quick character count. You wrote down the 7 most important characters. You had 6, and then I told you, what about this character? And you're like, oh yeah, I didn't get him.
So I got 7.5 characters. One's kind of a spoiler though. Well, the bad guys.
Then we'll cover that half character when we get to them in the plot synopsis.
Okay. So, our main characters. Our first person is Kinji Koiso. He's our main character.
Dean Venture.
Dean Venture.
Michael Center Nicholas voices him.
The character is essentially Dean Venture.
No, he's more likable than Dean.
That's true. He's just kind of a nerd.
Yeah, he's good at math. He was the runner-up in the Math Olympics or whatever to represent Japan.
Works for Oz as like part-timer, running code security checks.
Something, I don't know. It's some part-time job that a high schooler good with computers can get.
Mm-hmm. But really smart, but not the best socially.
Yeah, he's not like too awkward, but he's just kind of like quiet nerd.
Quiet nerd, kind of lonely.
Yeah, he's got a friend.
Yeah, which we'll discuss later.
Okay,
he's part of the characters.
Yeah,
our main girl is Natsuki Shinohara. Can you describe her? Because I don't know if we get a whole lot about her.
Natsuki Shinohara is, I would say, a normal girl for the most part, from a large family that really loves her family, and has a crush on her uncle. Her great uncle, technically, but he's a rather young uncle.
Yes.
So she appreciates family. She's not, like, dumb when it comes to electronics, but she's not necessarily, cares that much about, being online and stuff. I don't know. She loves her great grandma. That's like her biggest like emotional beat is just stuff that happens with her grandma, and I think she wants to impress her grandma, which is why she did what she did at the start of the movie.
Okay.
Which we'll get into later. That's how I would describe her. I mean, and she's good, but not the best at Hanafuda. Okay, I got it right this time. Because she lost to her uncle, but and there was a bad play in one of the key moments where Hanafuda is being played, but she recovered, made the right call.
Gotcha.
It's just there's a lot of characters in this movie to go through. I think she gets enough characterization, but you're right. It is kind of like, we don't get to see what her wants and desires are, other than, she kind of has a crush on her uncle. So
okay, I just think she wants the family to be together.
Yeah,
because everybody's kind of casting out her uncle, but she's kind of in love with him, but she doesn't see, I guess, the bad in him.
She sees the good in him, and and she does. Yeah, that's a big.
And that could be some naivety, but.
Well, she hasn't seen him in 10 years.
That's true.
And she's what, 16? 17?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
So, she was young when she last saw him.
Mm-hmm.
I never had this, but I think it's kind of common for little kids to have crushes on much older family members of theirs. Somebody in my family did. I'm not going to name names, a cousin of mine, but, I mean, he was 4. And she was 16,
ooh.
Sort of that babysitter vibe thing.
Yeah, babysitter vibe.
Yeah, but no, don't worry about it.
Was it you?
No, it was not me. I don't want to say who it was on a recording.
This is a judgment-free zone, Johnny. Our 4 listeners won't
care.
care.
I am also maybe misremembering things because this cousin was a year older than me, so therefore, on the Ruhal side, you want to know. I mean, I just revealed who it would be to anybody in our family.
They're not listening to this.
I know, but it's there. Anyway, I might be misremembering, because if they were 4 or 5, I was 3 or 4.
Okay.
It's, you just have memories of stuff as a kid that's did that really happen? Did I eat that Cheez-It off the ground?
Probably.
Did I want to be a Ninja Turtle when I grew up? Most definitely. I still want that.
Kind of look like a turtle.
I'm going to take that as a compliment and move on. That's our first. Those are our 2 main characters, I would say.
Our next character is Wabisuki Jinouchi.
Wabisuke Jinouchi.
Wabisuke. I always want to say Suki. They don't say the Su. They just say
Wabi-Ske.
Wabi-Ske.
I think.
That makes sense.
Because she's like, Uncle Wabi-Ske. That's how she pronounces it in the dub. We watched the dub because Dean Venture's in it.
Which
and
I had no idea.
You didn't know?
No,
I
don't remember that.
Nicholas?
No.
I guess we were really big into Summer Wars before I was really big into Venture Brothers.
Yes.
So.
I watched Summer Wars first before watching Venture Brothers.
Whereas I had seen Venture Brothers since I was a kid, but very few and far between, and I didn't really get into it until the last year of college. So
I didn't get into Venture Brothers until like season 7 started. Because that's when
the hype was getting up, and Hank and I started watching it nonstop.
And I was just like, I'll watch it. I'm like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah. God. Why didn't we do a Venture Bros podcast? We still can, I suppose.
Because we don't have time.
It's true. We barely have time for this podcast as is.
That's why we're doing a movie.
Yep. That's why we're doing 3 movies in a row.
Wabi-Ske is the bad boy uncle.
It's the black sheep of the family.
Black sheep of the family. He is the illegitimate son of the great-grandfather.
He's adopted by the great-grandfather and great-grandmother.
Oh, I thought he was illegitimate.
No, he was illegitimate son of the great-grandfather, but
but was adopted into the family.
Adopted into the family. So he is the adopted son of the
great-grandma.
Of the great-grandma, because the great-grandpa is not alive.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Where is he?
Or is he? He's hiding in the shadows. No, he's not. He's not alive.
He's Love Machine.
Yeah, but he has spent 10 years. A lot of his family doesn't like him because he took a lot of money from the great grandmother to go to America and go to school, and I guess try to start a business or something. And I think he's a professor technically.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Okay. In Pittsburgh?
Something like that. I don't know. But he, they're like, we don't have much, and he took a lot from the grandma, and
hadn't seen him in 10 years.
Haven't seen him in 10 years, and it was also well, he's not
really.
Yeah, all the other siblings are he's not grandma. He's not, because a lot of that's the great grandma, head of the family, and then there's a lot of 4 or 5 siblings or something. That's they're all older than Wabi-Ske by several. Wabi-Ske is in his 30s. Mm-hmm. And the great grandma is turning 90 in the movie. That's the whole thing. They're gathering for her birthday party.
Her 90th birthday.
Yes. But that's Uncle Wabi-Ske without going too far into what he does in the plot.
Yep. Next character is Kazuma Ikizawa. He's the bunny boy cousin.
The bunny boy cousin?
His character. He's the bunny.
Oh. I'm sorry. The name. Kazuma.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, what's his character's name?
King Kazuma.
King Kazuma. Okay.
His character's name was his name plus the word king in front of it. So.
Well, his name is Kazuma. It's King Kazuma.
It's Kazama.
Oh, I have Kazuma.
Kazama is what I have written down.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway. He's, I wouldn't call a black sheep, but he's a shy member of the family. 13, 14-year-old kid, maybe. Yeah. Maybe a little bit younger. World-renowned esport
character.
Fighter or whatever.
The virtual world of Oz.
Yeah. It's kind of shit, you're related to King Kazuma? He's famous. Oh, you're a little kid? But yeah, no, he's okay. I've got a note here. King Kazuma looks. I don't know if it looks like or just has the same vibe as Renamon from Digimon Series 3.
I might know who you're talking about.
That's the fox Digimon.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's a bunny, but okay.
Yeah, I know, but the same vibe where it's just I'm a anthropomorphic animal that kicks ass.
Like Cinderace. Cinderace
has got a little bit of a dorkier vibe to him.
Okay.
Yeah. Cinderace is I'm a soccer player. Look at me. I don't know. He just seems a little bit like a dweeb.
I got you.
Yeah. I mean, it is King Kazuma. Okay. I don't know where I saw the A. Whatever. Kazuma. Esports. Shy. Knows martial arts a little bit.
Was bullied as a kid.
Yes. Let's see. That's that character.
Mm-hmm. I suck at names. Sake is the great grandma.
Spell it.
Sakae. Sake?
I don't know. They just call it great grandmother most of the time.
I'm gonna call her Gigi.
Grandma. Great grandma.
Great grandma. Matriarch of the family.
Yeah. She has got like a lot of influential friends.
Very influential in her area. The Ueda, I think, is the area.
Yeah.
She has a Medal of Honor from the Governor of Japan.
I don't know if Medal of Honor would work. Also, don't know if it's the full Governor of Japan or just
she got a medal from the governor.
Yeah, and don't know if that's a weird translation thing, if that's the actual name of the position, but I don't think the governor controls the whole.
I don't know if Japan has governors.
Yeah, but if they do, it would be for a section of Japan, not for all of Japan. The Prime Minister is person in charge of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, their version of the president. So, yeah, but I mean, it's just the Genoichis are an old family that
Old
have had
family,
a lot of
and
influence.
they've been around in that area for thousands of years.
Yeah, they say they go back 16 generations. They like have that as a point of pride,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I mean, technically, we all go back that far and farther.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, whatever, dude. You care if you think you're. I mean, I guess like family names get made every now and again. You know, people will change the name.
It might be a big deal that they can like trace it back that far.
Yeah,
Because
but
like I can't trace our family that far.
I could trace our family back to when we moved to America.
Okay.
I've got some documents, or my parents have some
Mm-hmm.
documents about that. I did a family tree for German class in high school, so I can go back like 4 or 5 generations. But I also didn't need to go further back for that, and we might be able to go back further if we really looked into it. But yeah, I mean, it just feels like such a weird brag to have. Like we go back, like yeah, we all have ancestors that go back to the beginning of time. That's how people work. We didn't spring out of a rock. I'm not a dwarf.
Oh, also, it sounds like they used to be like wealthy.
Yeah, they used to. I mean, they still have a very large estate.
They do have a very large estate.
But like they've sold off some of their other properties and businesses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as we can see, some of the descendants are starting to get more like. One of the sons owns a fishing boat, and one of them
works for the military.
Yeah, works for the military, and I think that's more of a grandson level military guy.
She has a bunch of them in like law enforcement.
Yeah, there's a bunch. Yeah, there's
or like
emergency responders.
Yeah.
One's like a fireman and an EMT, and
one sells computers to
one's
government.
a police officer. One sells supercomputers to the government and has a little like personal computer store as a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like they've got influence again. It's just been adapted to the modern era. One of them is a doctor.
Correct.
Very admirable.
One of them
professions.
One of them, their son is in a baseball tournament.
Yeah, that's her thing going on. The baseball. They won that tournament. Spoilers.
They're going to state.
I think they won nationals. I think that's what.
I think they won the regionals.
Regional. Okay.
I think that was to get to state.
I'm sorry. Now I'm just thinking of community. Wait, I thought these
we
were
have a
regionals.
real shot at regionals. What is regionals?
It's regions. Oh my god. Community. Why didn't we start a community podcast? So this podcast just become, why didn't we start X podcast?
One at a time.
Okay. So, who we got next?
Takashi, the friend.
Okay. It's just Todd Haberkorn's character.
Mm-hmm. Kenji's best friend, works with him.
Yeah.
Lost rock, paper, scissors.
He's the one like character that is outside of the family compound for all of the movie.
Yes.
Because they're just like, he just like calls them on the phone or talks to their avatars online. He's still working at the school. Or working out of some room in the school.
He's like the guy in the chair.
Yeah. He's the guy in the chair. What else we got?
Last guy is Love Machine.
Okay, yeah. This is the one I told you to add because you didn't have this as a character. Love Machine is an AI that's taking over the virtual world of Oz. Love Machine is basically the enemy from the Digimon movie. He starts small, like a Sumimon or a Karamon, and then he becomes a little bit bigger, like Kurosarimon and Infermon, and then he's just like a big conglomeration of a bunch of stolen accounts and a giant digital monster called Diaboromon. Called Love Machine. It's just an AI that's designed to like steal people's accounts, and he was designed to love to learn and play games, and that's how he was able to like hack into a bunch of stuff, because it was just an advanced learning algorithm where it could machine learning itself into doing anything at once. But that's kind of going into those are characters.
Those are your main characters. There's a bunch of family members.
Yeah, there's like 30 family members. It's a lot to keep track of. There's little kids running around. There's lots of aunts and cousins, and cousin Shota is sort of an important character. He's an overprotective second cousin of the main girl, and doesn't like what's the main character's name? Kenji. He's also a police officer, and
arrests Kenji.
Yeah, arrests Kenji at one point in the movie. We should get into the plot synopsis, I guess. We're like,
all right.
We're like 26 minutes in.
Time for the plot. We start with an explanation of the virtual world Oz. So Oz is just this, again, virtual world where people can do basically anything they want online in this one world. Everything's connected to it, so you can basically do anything in there.
Yeah, it's sort of like the internet, maybe a little bit more like
it's like what Facebook wants to be.
Yeah, it's what Facebook wants to be. It's like
Meta.
It's like you can monitor people's. You can have like monitors to people. Like the doctor, he monitors people's vitals through Oz. Yeah. So there's some hardware out there connected to somebody's vitals that they can monitor remotely through Oz.
You can shop anything you want. They have like games you can play there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of business connections where
companies. Email runs through it, and everyone has their own little like avatar to run around in there. It almost seems like a weirder internet, because like now your avatar physically has to move your email to wherever you're going, and I mean I'm sure a lot of it's just like stylized, but like they flash to the inside of it, and it feels like this real world.
Leroy actually made the internet from Community.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's an operating system for gods.
And Jesus.
You have to, like, drown a file to delete it.
Yeah.
That's so good. But, it's like this virtual world. It's like the digital world for Digimon. The guy wanted to make a real movie out of the Digimon movie, so he did it, and I love it. What did I call it? Digimon Rebuild?
Yeah, Digimon Rebuild.
But yeah, there's two giant whales that are its protectors called John and Yoko.
John and Yoko.
For whatever reason. Like, all right.
I don't know.
They show up again at the end.
Give her a
sweet auspicious rare item.
I never saw what the rare item was.
It was the cloak or whatever that she got.
Was it
the kimono that her avatar was wearing?
Was that it, or was it the wings she grew?
I think they were tied together.
All right.
It was an auspicious means conducted to success or favorable. So,
whatever.
It's like they just granted her an auspicious rare item. It's like, what a weird phrasing.
Why don't they just say that it gave her a power up?
I don't know. What is it? And we don't know what it does. Like she
grew wings and got hot.
Well, I mean, hotter. The avatar got hot.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Anyways, that's Oz. That's kind of what the movie's based about. Then we meet our main character, Kenji. Again, he's like a high schooler who works part-time doing like maintenance / security checks for Oz with his friend. As they're doing this, our main girl, Natsuki, walks in saying, "Hey, I got a job for one of you two. Who wants it?"
They're like, "We're kind of working," and
it's like we have a job.
It'll involve going out on a trip to me in the summer. So like, I guess we'll play rock paper scissors to see who goes, and Kenji wins.
wins. So he accompanies her to her family estate where they're going to celebrate her great-grandma's 90th birthday out in the country.
Yep. Why he has to come, he doesn't know at this point.
He does not know.
After they show up at the house, she's just like, all right, I got to introduce you to great-grandma, and just go along with whatever I say.
Just whatever I say, go along with it.
He's like, Grandma, this is my fiance. He goes to Tokyo U. He's studied a year in America. What else? There's one other thing I thought.
What is it? He's going to Tokyo U.
I think maybe it was just those three.
He went a year abroad. And something else. What was the other thing?
I mean, just that they were fiancés, maybe? Is that it?
Maybe.
Anyway, she lies.
He's like, whoa,
He's like,
what?
Wait a minute. And the grandma's like, how serious are you about my granddaughter? Would you die for her? And he's like, yes. He thought about it for a moment. And then he's just like, he didn't say it like that. He's just like, yeah, I would. It's like, okay. It's a little much, dude, but all right. And then she stares at him really intensely. And then she has a 6 inches. Oh,
what?
Sorry.
What?
A sex change. Oh, sorry. A mood change.
Oh, she's getting 6 inches.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, that happens. And then we get some family stuff. I think the uncle shows up during dinner. Right?
Yes, they're having a big family dinner. Not everyone in the family is there because a lot of people are still coming in and working.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people there, and they have a big family dinner. And that's when Uncle Wabisuke shows up.
Causes tension because he's been gone for 10 years. Everybody hates him. He causes a scene. And then we kind of just cut to Kenji. He gets this weird email saying, hey, solve this equation. Spends all night. He solves it. And then that's it. And then the next day, we get news on the TV saying somebody has hacked Oz.
And they have a picture, but it's blurred out the eyes, but it's very clearly Kenji.
It is very clearly Kenji.
And the little kids that are running around are like,
You're
we're going to arrest you. You're a criminal.
Yeah.
And then everything comes out that she was lying and that he's younger than her. And Cousin Shota arrests him.
One of the nosy ants had to go into Oz and be like, his records say he's only a high schooler. It's like, lady, come on. Why you gotta be like this?
Background checking all of her boyfriends. Weird. It worked this time, but still weird that you're doing it.
What's your Facebook stalk like everybody else? She got official records.
It's true, she did. I think that might have also been when his name was on the news or something though too. I don't know. But Shota tries to
said his name on the news.
Well, no,
this
but
high schooler.
Yeah, but they show his face. They might have looked into it after that.
Mm-hmm.
The Cousin Shota arrests him. He tries to take them in, but the hacking that's been happening in Oz is just shut down a lot of systems and traffic lights that are hooked up.
Traffic lights have all been shut down. I think there's some water. All the alarms and the sewage and power
they're
plants
getting
are all going off.
The fire department is getting called over the places where there's nothing going wrong. They're there's some alarm.
Ambulance services keep getting alerts on pacemakers and stuff. I guess.
Yeah.
So
it's just a whole big traffic jam. They're stuck in traffic for a while. One of the cousins, and I am forgetting the main girl's name, Natsuki, come up and it's like, hey, turn around.
This goes on
for 60 kilometers. Yeah. So he's like, okay, well, we came back, but you're still under arrest. Well, we're gonna
what
be
are you doing
house.
here? He's like, oh, traffic.
Yeah. And then I don't know. You're the one who's supposed to be telling us what happens next.
No, that's it. He gets hacked. Then they just kind of figure out what's happening. That this AI called Love Machine got in. It's causing all these problems. And slash eating
people's accounts,
and stealing them, which gives him the access to all this stuff. Yeah, because he's eating accounts to people who have access.
Every account that he hacks, he has access to whatever that account has access to.
So they do one attempt to try to stop him using Kazuma's character, King Kazuma. It doesn't work. He
tries to fight him, and then he gets distracted by some of the little kids running around, and then Love Machine gets a hit or two on him, and then they do a look over there to Love Machine and run away.
This is where a love machine turns into a fake character.
Yeah. Or a stand from JoJo.
Yeah.
Or, as I said earlier, Kurosari-mon or Infirmon.
Nah, he looks cooler than that.
But does he look... But his final form does not look as cool as Diaboromon.
That's true.
Final form just looks like a bunch of insects buzzing around.
Yeah, it's like a shadow almost.
Yeah.
That stuff happens, and then I think this is where we find out that Wabisuke built Love Machine.
Yeah, he like comes back and like, for whatever reason, they're like they do some work to try to like reestablish some order in Oz.
Mm-hmm.
And the grandma calls a bunch of people. Like
grandma has the landline to the phone in the ambulance.
Yeah, she calls it directly, and she's like, "Now, great grandson of mine, you go check on as many old people as you can.
Don't worry about me."
And then they're just like, get out there and do your part to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
And she's calling up a bunch of politicians and stuff, and it's like,
just like, get your shit together. Let's get this fixed.
Like inspiring them and being like, "Come on, you can do this, you old bag of bones. If I'm up and still doing, then you're younger than me. You can do what you need to and all that. I remember when you were in diapers or whatever. I don't know." But she just has a lot of people, and she starts.
I brought you into this world. I'll take you out of it.
So like things have returned to sort of semi-normal by that evening, and they kind of like reestablish the hack of Oz or whatever by running through the math problem codes again. We learned that the Kenji's account was just stolen. He didn't actually solve the hack. He was one character off, which might have been a typo.
I think it was I'm going to say it was a typo.
Yeah, because it was like a word, the word knowledge, but it ended in a Q instead of the E. So it's like it was probably a typo. He probably knew what it was, but they're like, you're not the one who did it. Here's the people that actually did it. 63 people, and your name's not on the list. You had everything but the last character.
There were a couple.
It just stole everybody that responded to it. So you're innocent, and they're like, all right, good. I'm not under arrest anymore. They, so they're trying to like, we can't like. Things aren't finished until we beat Love Machine. And that's when Wabisuke is like, you can't beat Love Machine. She said, no, I created him.
Yeah.
Sold him to the U.S. government. And said after I allowed them to use it on a test with Oz. And they decided to buy it. And the great-grandma was like, you caused all this trouble? She pulls a spear off the wall.
Yeah, but we got to talk. He did that to like... Pay her back for the money that he stole or that she gave him.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
I mean, she gave it to him, but the rest of the family feels like he was like scamming her.
Gotcha.
Or it felt that way to them. And she's like, we're going to have money again, like when great grandpa was still around. Like I did this like to make
for the family.
Yeah. And she's like, this is not like you've done something wrong here.
Yeah.
You've lost sight of the means don't justify the ends.
Yes.
So she pulls his spear
Money
off.
isn't what defies his family. It's what we do.
Pulls his spear off the wall and starts trying to like fight him. And it's like, damn, Granny's got some moves.
Yeah.
And then like he's like surprised by it. He falls down on the ground. But before she can like actually hit him, she's like, stand up and die like a man. And that's when he stands up. But like she's a 90-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Sorry, 89-year-old woman.
89-year-old woman.
She's not turned 90 yet. And he's just like able to grab the spear like with one hand, stop her from being able. And he leaves, but he leaves his cell phone behind, which
comes in play later.
Yeah, Natsuki.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I think it's not. I think they pronounce it Natsuki. I think you're doing the Sue again.
Natsuki.
Anyway, I think they pronounce it Natsuki.
Whatever. I'm saying Natsuki.
They. She finds it. We learn later that she's like looking at it, trying to like figure out the password to unlock it. What happens next at this point?
Pretty sure
he's left.
This is where Grandma dies.
Oh yeah, at the middle of the night. Grandma dies in the middle of the night. She was hooked up to vitals with Oz as well, but the doctor's son didn't get any alarms in the morning because it just was malfunctioning. They tried to resuscitate her and they couldn't. Called the time of death. It was very early in the morning when that happened.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well we're switching into like funeral mode. Change the order of
I did not remember that happening. First time watching it.
Grandma dying?
Yeah, I don't remember Grandma dying.
Like, did you know that she died the second time you watched the movie?
Oh, no, she's... Yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah.
But you don't remember her dying.
I don't remember dying the first time. Like, I don't... The second time watching it, I forgot that she died in the movie.
Okay, so you started when you started watching it, the second time you started watching it, you thought Grandma lived through the whole movie.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I
didn't know if you were saying I forgot that her character died or I forgot what her death scene was like.
No.
Like I don't remember seeing her death scene. But you just thought she lived the second time that you watched the movie until she died. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
She dies? Why don't I remember that?
Yeah, because it's very emotionally poignant.
Yeah.
It hurts.
There's a scene where they're all like just kind of quiet and after the death. And I actually wrote this down in my notes. They're just like, they're all kind of gathered around her. And then you hear a baby crying in the distance. And then one of the moms goes off and it's just like yeah, that's death. It seems like it's going to end your entire world, but you got to keep... Mm-hmm. Baby's got to get fed. Stuff's got to get done. You got to keep moving. I don't know. I really like that that scene. And then the scene where all they're just kind of like sitting around and crying. Mm-hmm. I like that scene too. Because they're sitting around and crying. Also because Natsuki asked Kinji to hold her hand. Or to hold her finger. And then he ends up holding her hand.
Yep.
It's just nice.
Mm-hmm. Really sad. Really hits home.
Yep. I wrote down hits hard, not hits home.
Well, I guess, yeah. Anyway.
But it's just, yeah, you're like, okay, time to cry and move on and keep living our life.
They have work to do. They got to stop Love Machine. Yep. So that this doesn't happen to anybody else.
Yes, and they need to, who knows how many other people similar things could happen to. Mm-hmm. And then some of the family, a lot of the women in the family are like, we're not going to worry about other people at this time. We got to get Grandma's funeral ready. But then some of the men are like, I mean, we can't. They quote Seven Samurai. The guy who works for the Japanese Defense Force.
He's like, well, that was really a poignant quote. Where'd you get that from? He's like, Seven Samurai?
No, it's trying to remember. He says, you have to protect others to protect yourself. And it's like, what is that? Some sort of Japanese Defense Force motto? It's like, nah, I lifted it from Seven Samurai. Yeah. But then, so while they're getting ready for like the funeral and preparing things, the people are like, the Jinoichis are going to war again. Yeah. Just like in the 1600s when we only had
1,000 men to their 30,000.
30,000. We trapped them and we won through our cunning. It's like, didn't we lose that war? It's like, well, yeah, but we fought valiantly till the end.
It was a moral victory.
So this is when we start getting like the specialties of some of the relations. So it's just like
what is it? One guy, the fisherman brings his boat, which I guess has like a bunch of power that they can set it up with. I don't know.
Yeah, and then he needs to drop it in the pond because it's water cooled.
Yeah,
just got a bunch of generators to run a supercomputer that the one guy brings, and like the LCD monitor is too much to lag on the display. Can you get a high tech CRT? And it's like, you got it. Fucking smash players.
Where did you get this? He's like, oh, most of my like company like just works online, like selling.
Yeah, we do contracts for the government. Yeah. the brick and mortar store is just kind of a hobby.
Yeah. Just brings a supercomputer.
And they're like, they get a bunch of ice off the boat to cool it, and they like seal it in the room. I mentioned that because that's going to come up.
Home defense guy brings like a heavy duty military satellite or something.
Yeah, they get a crazy uplink.
Yeah.
And they're like, the friend is like, what the hell is going on at that place?
You got like 1,000 gigaflops of like data coming through.
1.21 gigawatts of.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's like, all right, this is it's like time to flex the family muscles here. Mm-hmm. Kazuma does like some meditating with his sensei, which is his grandpa, which is Natsuki's Uncle Mansuke.
Okay. I think if I were to pick like any family member, he would be the one I wrote down.
Yeah, Uncle Mansuke or Grandpa Mansuke is he's kind of like the lead of the other family members. He's kind of that uncle.
Yeah.
he's like a fisherman. We were introduced to him being like, I brought some food for everyone. Look at all this squid. And they're like, squid. And in this box, more squid. And they're like, more squid. And for dessert, it's just another box of squid.
The kid's like, why is it all squid?
It's like, I feel like you want to be careful about what you talk about.
Yeah.
Uncle Mosuke, because he might have some controversial opinions that make me not like him.
But in the end, he's just like, yeah, you're right. We gotta fight for our right.
Yeah, they don't get into his QAnon theories, but I just get that, like, any other family, this would be that uncle you'd be wary around. Yeah. But I like to think the best of him. He didn't show. He might have had that vibe, but he didn't show that level of uncharacter.
No. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, what is it? He's like, yeah, the men in this family got a little soft.
It's like this. Oh, I wrote this down. Family is full of take charge women. Family is full of take charge women. The men have gotten a little soft. And I wrote down my note. Family full of take charge women is a family I want to be a part of.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm all for that. Sign me up.
Let's see. So they come up with a plan. They're like, the Love Machine loves games, so we're going to challenge him, and he's going to have to take the challenge, which is going to be a trap.
Yeah.
But I wrote, here's my note. We're going to challenge the AI to a martial arts fight, then trick it into drowning.
That's what their plan was, right? To drown it?
Yeah. They challenged him to a martial arts fight, and
is that how virtual reality works? Can you drown in virtual reality?
They trapped him in a room, and that had like 1 million doors for some reason, and they
closed all the doors.
And started filling it with water.
That sounds legit to me.
Yeah, that all happened in the cyber world. And then after that happens, they're like, wait a minute, he's able to get out. What's happening? Well, cousin Shota, little bitch, was like, it's a really hot one out there today. Let's cool Granny off. And he takes all the ice that they were using to chill the room with the supercomputer and brings it into Granny's room.
Nice sentiment, but
the computer overheats and everything starts lagging. It's like, you son of a bitch! Not son of a bitch, because that would insult another family member.
How dare you?
But it's just what do you call it? I mean, it's just like, all right, well, we had him, and now we don't. So now we've got the third act of the movie we need to do. And he takes Kazuma's, he takes the King Kazuma avatar. That's when he grows, because he's like starting to get real swole. He's taken all of the, he's like building a body out of all of the avatars that he does, kind of like the gnomes in Gravity Falls. And then he beats King Kazuma. The rest of them kind of run away or log off or whatever. But like, we've lost the King Kazuma account, and his giant sort of amorphous blob of characters grows 2 bunny ears.
It's pretty funny.
Silly.
But then,
so like this is him in full Diaboromon mode at this point.
When that happens, what is it? They kind of give up, but Kenji's like, no, we got to do something. Also, this is like where Love Machine just basically threatens to like blow up a nuclear power plant.
They got 2 hours. He turns all the clocks into a countdown of 2 hours, and he just like throws up on the screen. It's like, I've taken control of this satellite, and I'm going to crash it into a nuclear power facility and cause mass destruction in 2 hours.
Do you want to play a game?
They're like, it's not over yet. Let's try to take control of the account that has the satellite controls over, and then, redirect them to be somewhere harmless.
But he has like millions of accounts.
So they're like, they also, at this point, Natsuki figures out the password to Uncle Wabisuke's phone, and like is able to like call him on his laptop or something through Oz, and he's just like, you're clever, and he just keeps like talking, doesn't give her a chance to talk.
He's like, I'm never coming back there as long as
that old lady's living there. He's like, will you shut the fuck up a minute?
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm listening. Grandma's dead. It's like, oh shit, and he like immediately turns around and starts rushing back there. So they're like, we're gonna challenge Love Machine to a game, and it's gonna be Hanafuda, which they've been kind of like playing off and on in the background and stuff. Natsuki plays Wabisuke. The night before Grandma dies, Kinji plays Hanafuda with her, and it's like, we're gonna bet the world on Hanafuda. Of course, our family would do that. So they're like, we're gonna bet the Genoichi clan, 20 people.
Fate of the world rests on a gambling game.
Yep, you're gonna bet 20 people against your 1,000,000, and we're gonna slowly win back all the accounts.
Yeah.
They win back quite a bit of accounts. They've got like hundreds of thousands of accounts. And then they lose a round, and they don't have the minimum bid of 100. They've got like 97 accounts left.
So it's like, what are we going to do? And
then some total Digimon movie move here. Some random stranger comes up and is like, hey, use my account. Hey, use my account. Hey, use my account. And they've got enough to do one last final bid.
Yep.
All the marbles here. Pretty much all the marbles. And they koi their way to victory with the whole world watching. But he's only got... Love Machine has like 3 accounts left or something.
She also gets a power up.
Oh yeah, she gets a power up from Johnny Yoko. An auspicious rare item. They've awarded her an auspicious rare item. I don't know, something about the wording of that. This is weird. For whatever reason, I don't know. Johnny Yoko, are they other AIs? Why do they give her an item? Do they realize what's going on?
Well, they're the Guardians. They gotta protect Oz, I guess. I don't know.
Anyway.
I'm surprised they didn't sing her a song or something.
Anyway, we get a magical girl transformation when she gets the item,
do.
which is cool. And then we beat him in the game, but one of the accounts that he still has left is one that controls the guidance of the crashing satellite.
Which has switched.
Has switched trajectories, and it is now switching over to their house. What are their last names? Genoichi
household.
Yep. So they're like, we don't have a lot of time.
We gotta get out of here.
It's locked in. So you guys start evacuating, and Kenji's like, maybe if we can crack the code again, we can flood it with junk data, and then that will like cause it to like go off course somehow because we're jolting it, slightly miss us. And they're like, I guess it's worth a shot. We're not dead yet. So they unlock it, and they're like, Love Machine immediately relocks
encrypts
it.
again, yeah.
And then they unlock it again. Love Machine encrypts it again. At that point, Cosmo's back. King Cosmo's back. He starts distracting Love Machine, fighting him before he can recrypt it again. And then Kenji gets a nosebleed as he like solves the thing in his head instead of doing it in paper again.
He's doing it in his head.
It's just like, got it. And then they flood it, and then they it alters course just enough to crash into the mountains and
next to him,
and cause a hot spring to pop up.
Yeah.
So like, hot spring, all right.
I think it's like, yay, a hot spring.
Yeah. Uncle Wabisuke is there at this point.
So sweet, we saved the house, but those neighbors are fucking dead.
Oh yeah, Uncle Wabisuke is part of the command too because he was going to be like trying to do something to Love Machine once they got him down enough or something.
He started helping.
Yeah. So he's been there for a little bit at this point. And then the movie ends with the rest of the family like, well, they like
it's technically like the funeral.
Yeah, it's the funeral for Grandma. The song that they've been practicing earlier, they sing. And then a lot of the family is just like, Kenji, you and Natsuki should date for real.
Yeah, you really showed who...
And then she gives him a kiss on the cheek, and then he...
passes out.
Passes out, because... My man.
My man. That's my Dean.
That's Dean for you. What's Dean got to do with it? Anyway, that's the movie. I don't know. I love this movie. It's...
credit song slaps.
I don't remember what the credit song is like.
I don't remember either, but it slapped.
All right.
Let's do it. So, a couple notes. I want to say this has a similar plot to Live Free or Die Hard.
Okay.
I'm assuming this came first, but Live Free or Die Hard has that thing where like some terrorist has like these hackers like encrypt data that they unknowingly like uncrypt that allows them access to like Homeland Security accounts and everything, so that he can like change traffic signals and like shut off the power grid and all that stuff.
Okay, all right. Let's see. I'm going through we're in the note catch-up part of the podcast here. I think I need to learn how to play Hanafuda. I have that as a note.
Nah, that's I know too many card games already. I'm done.
We can a lot of my notes are about. I already talked about a lot of my notes, but a lot of my notes are about the themes, which is kind of where we're going to. So,
okay.
When after Grandma's died, they found like a letter that she left behind for when she dies, and it's like, hey, Wabisuke's been gone for like 10 years. Who knows if he'll ever show up again? But if he does, like, he's part of our family too. He'll need to eat, and we're all, remember to find time to eat as a family. That's a really important thing.
Because there's nothing worse than hunger and loneliness.
Yeah, there are many problems in this world, but hunger and loneliness are among the worst. It's got a lot prettier language than what we're saying, but it's like that hits.
Mm-hmm. That's the part that hit the most for me, was that speech. And
like Natsuki finds it and she reads it, and then like when they have like the 2 hours, they're like, well, before we do anything, Grandma was explicitly clear. We gotta eat. Time to eat as a family. Like we get to see that like she loved Wabisuke. Like we get some flashbacks, and this Giga talked about this movie in a good video too. But it's like the movie's theme is family.
Yeah,
it's just coming together, working together, having various relationships between families that some are strained, some aren't, and then
it's like doesn't really matter. Guess what your family is, or like all your different personalities in it. It's you coming together as a family to accomplish things. And
like, I want to say family in like a very opening sense too, because it's just like Kenji's part of the family now.
Yeah,
unless things don't work out. But
Kenji's friend, he helped.
We watched one of the special features of the interview with Mamoru Hosoda at like a film festival in Italy or something, and he was talking about, it's just kind of like when I married my wife, all of a sudden there's just a big group of people that are just my family now, a big group of strangers that I don't know, and he's like, it's sort of that experience. And then he has also said it's also sort of the experience of my wife was playing DS in bed and she was using gamer lingo I didn't recognize. So I think his wife had a big part of this. His family was a big influence on this movie. He did not mention the Digimon movie in that interview. Like, I really thought he was going to when he started talking about like what inspired him to make this movie. It's like, come on, you know what you did. Just admit it. It's okay. We love you for it.
The one thing I'll say is that there's a good chance he probably didn't write the Digimon movie, or did he?
I don't know. I would have to.
So it's like he directed it, but he might not have had full control of that movie.
Yeah, obviously it's an IP. You're not going to have full control of the Digimon movie.
So it's not like he wrote the Digimon movie and then like wrote Summer Wars, or like, let's just make the same movie again.
Yeah, there's just like some very powerful scenes from the Digimon movie that he kind of co-opted, and general plot synopsis that he co-opted. I'm pulling up the Digimon movie stats right now. Let's see. Stats. It was also... it's hard to say, because that's actually 3 movies, Frankenstein into one. So somebody else did some of the stuff. But he definitely did the middle part of the movie. But like Yamauchi Shigeyasu also did it.
Yeah, so I'm giving him a pass on this. Also, it's been a while since I watched the Digimon movie.
Let's see. I'm taking a look.
Like, who wrote it?
It's directed by Mamoru Hosoda, produced by Toei. Written by Reiko Yoshida.
There you go.
So, did not write it. But it's like the scene where the people show up, and it's like, take my account. Like, that's straight out of Digimon. The AI that's
just a Spartacus scene, though. That's been done in movies before.
That's not a Spartacus scene is very different.
No, I'm Spartacus.
This is like people from around the world showing
No,
up
I
to give their
farted.
support. Not just everyone saying that. Not just like 20 people saying that I'm this guy.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a different scene.
It is, but it's happened before in movies.
But it's just, it's just so similar. I mean, no knock on it. Like, we're going to watch the Digimon movie as soon as we get it in here and cover it. So,
it's like you're like trying to find something to be mad about on this movie.
I'm mad that he wouldn't say that it was based off of the Digimon movie in that interview. That's what I'm mad about. Don't hide it. Flaunt it. This is like if the Digimon movie were a real movie.
It's a real movie. It exists.
I just said it was a Frankenstein of 3 movies.
But there is a Digimon movie.
I know. And Smash Mouth is in it.
What?
Smash Mouth is in the U.S. Digimon movie soundtrack. They've got a lot of like pop hits from that era, the year 2000.
It's not All-Star, is it?
I think All-Star might be in it.
Oh, we don't have to look that up. I want that to be a surprise.
Okay. I guess we're watching the dub of the Digimon movie, not the sub. Which, of course, we were going to watch the dub of the Digimon movie. Are you kidding me?
Why would I watch the sub?
I mean, we're going to cut out some stuff at the beginning while we were waiting to start, but we're at frag time now, so we can kind of wrap up. Dibs count. You have dibs on the grandma. I have dibs on Natsuki.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 dibs we called. I think you won in the end.
I got a couple of other dibs from like the aunts and cousins.
Oh, yeah, that's
they're
right.
not important.
Whatever. I don't remember any of the aunts, cousins' names.
I wrote their names down, but I'm not even going to say them because they're not worth it.
Yep. But yeah, that's the first episode of Mamoru March. So, Digimon movie next, and then hopefully Wolf Children after that, and we'll see from there. So, the Wolf Children and Bell are the only Mamoru Hosoda movies you haven't seen.
I believe so.
You've seen the Digimon movie, you just don't really know anything about it, right?
I don't remember much about it.
It's probably something we watched at like 2 a.m. in Hank's basement, if I had to guess. The last time you would have seen it.
I don't know. I know I've seen it, I just don't remember it.
Okay. Alright, so remember, we're on anime_territory at Twitter. We are Anime Territory on YouTube. We stream on twitch.tv/Dominigoku. I play Pokemon on there sometimes. It's kind of boring. It's just me sitting there playing Pokemon. The last time I streamed it, I was listening to a podcast in my headphones the whole time because that was my one like thing stopping me from streaming. It's like, well, I want to listen to something while I'm playing, so I'm going to. I had my headset with the game audio wrapped around my neck, and then my Bluetooth headset attached to my phone, listening to Face Jam, and so you'll just hear me giggle out of nowhere every now and again because something was funny on Face Jam. Then I eventually, finished it and streamed for a little bit. But we're gonna finish Chrono Trigger one of these days.
Eventually.
We sometimes stream opening cards, Digimon cards, and the most recent Magic set, Neon Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
We do that on there.
That's
we
fun.
upload the stream archives on YouTube. Is there anything I'm forgetting to plug?
Just we're on.
Oh, we're on
Anchor.
yeah.
Any podcast services, really.
Yep. Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all those places.
Mm-hmm.
So, Apple Podcasts.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, and
You are now leaving the anime territory.